Hello. So one of the things you're going to need this week is your My Math Thinking. This is a little notebook. Now, if you have a nice composition notebook that you're not using for anything else, that can be your math thinking book. But I don't have one here. I have a lot at school, but I just didn't have one here, so I decided to make my own. This is just like we made the one for our science notebook, which you're also going to need to be using this week. So I'm just going to show you mine, and then I'll show you how to make it. So I did put a table of contents in, and these are the math lessons. I have put the title of each math lesson that you're going to have, and I'm going to call him the math professor because I can't think of his name right now, when you watch your videos this week. So these are the different math lessons, and really that is going to extend your thinking about math that you are going to be doing this week. Monday there are 2 of them. And I think you're really gonna like the obedient card one because that is something you're gonna wanna show your parents and kind of show them how much you know, and kind of, I think they're gonna be amazed by what you learned from that. The other thing special about this notebook, I put a pocket on the back, and I will show you how to do that. So this is a little pocket because you're going to need some little cards with numbers on them, and you can just slip them right into the pocket, which is really a nice feature of this notebook. So you are going to need 4 pieces of paper. I am doing this a little bit different this time because I had to do some other cutting last time. But I'm stacking my 4 pieces of paper together. I'm folding them in half. I want to get it nice and even. And I just draw a line. So just kind of crease it. Okay. All 4 pieces of paper there. Now I'm going to take out 1 piece of paper out of the middle. Because 1 piece of paper gets cut differently, and I'm going to crease it a little bit, than the other 3 pieces of paper. I'm creasing a little bit. Now if you have a pencil, you could use that. I forgot to bring a pencil over here, so I am just going to snip. Okay, because both of them are going to get snipped. But if I had a pencil, I would use a pencil. So here I'm going to go up really, I would say about 1/3 of the way, and I'm going to cut, just do a little cut through both pieces of, all the pieces of paper. And then I'm going to do the same thing, about the same distance from the top as I did from the bottom. So I just have little cuts in there. Okay, so I just put a little cut. You could also just put a little pencil mark. Now I'm going to take this, the paper that's by itself, okay? And for this one, I'm going to start at the bottom cut, one of my little cuts there, so I find out where that is. So when I see, here's my little place that I snipped it. So from there, I'm going to turn that back a little. I'm going to shave the fold from cut to cut. So I'm just going to put my scissors in there and cut up, shaving off that fold until I get to my other cut. So that's what it ends up like. So that's the slit that we're going to put the other papers in. So I just shaved my fold. Now for the other 3 papers, I'm going to stop. I'm going to start at the bottom and shave the, or yes, I can shave the fold on this one, but I'm stopping when I get to the cut. So I'm going to shave the fold, but as soon as I get to that cut, I stop. And then I do the other side too. I turn it over and I just shave the fold up and I stop when I get to the cut. Okay, so then I have these 3 papers that have, that one I didn't. Make sure you cut all the way through so you've shaved the fold so it looks like that. Okay, all 3 of those look like that. Then you're going to get your other piece back. This is just like we did the science notebook. Now you could put them in one at a time. I might try to put mine in. I'm kind of going to roll. I don't want to fold it because I don't want to have creases in my paper. I'm kind of rolling it a little bit because I have to be able to fit it through my slit. So slide it through and then just open it up on the inside. Look at how quick that was. Okay. So now I have my book. Now it doesn't really matter, I don't think, which page is the front page or what page is the back page. Then you're going to want to decide, and I don't have a pencil, which side is the front, because you always want to open the correct way. So you start from the right here and then you open this way. But I'm going to go to the very back. Now I'm going to turn it over, and on the back of my book, that is where I'm going to make my little pocket. So this is the last page in the book, and I'm going to fold it down to make a triangle. Anybody of you made a square, so sometimes how you make a square. So I just folded that down. So here's the front of my book, and then this is the back. So when I get to the last page of my book, that's where this is. Then I'm going to take glue, and I have a glue stick, and I'm going to glue just right along the edges here so it closes it up. So I'm going to take my glue. I put a little bit on the top just to kind of keep that flat down. But I go around the side and the bottom. So you can't really see where I put the glue, but I just went right along the side and the bottom. Then I tuck in that flap and I glue it down. I'm going to make sure you don't have a hole in the bottom, so you got to make sure you put lots of glue down at the bottom. So then, see how I have this pocket here? Okay, that is my math thinking. This is where I'm going to put my math thinking in here. So you're going to want to put that title, my math thinking. Here's my completed book, where I have a table of contents, and then on the back is where that pocket is. Now the next thing we're going to do is make number cards that are going to go in this pocket. So these are my number cards that I put in here, and you need to have 9 of them. So I can just take them out, and I happen to have some colored paper at home, which makes them stand out a little bit. If you don't have colored paper, that's okay, but you could use construction paper. Any colored paper would be best. If you have scrapbooking paper, anything would work. This page was a full sheet, but I cut it in half, and that's how I made these. So once you have this half a sheet, and you can make yours a different size. I'm just going to show you one way that you could make these number cards. Because you need 9 little squares that are really the same size is what it should be. And this is actually going to make more than 9 pieces of paper. I'm trying to remember if I did it in half. So you can fold it in half first, and you always want to use a hard surface. That's why I have this nice big book here. Some of you may have seen me reading this over the weekend. Actually, I think I'm going to do it. So you can do a third if you want. So you kind of want to go over so that each section is the same size. So I'm going to do a third. So I'm folding this over. So these are kind of like a door. See this part right here is about the same size as this part right here. I'm going to crease that. Then I'm going to open this part up and fold this one right next to that fold. So I then have 3 sections here. And these are not necessarily going to be squares, but okay. So then you have those 3 sections. And then we need to fold it again into thirds because we want 9. So I'm going to fold it so that it's not, I'm not folding it in half. I'm folding it so I'll end up with thirds. So I fold it over so this side and this side are about the same size. So notice what that looks like. And then you can just fold this one in, take the other side, and fold it to the fold. So I said the word fold a lot of times there. Okay, so when you Put it all in, there you go. And you do want to crease your sides a little bit. So then when you have it open, and we did really make rectangles and squares, which is fine. Okay, so now we just need to cut this apart. So I prefer to shave the fold. So when it's folded here, I'm going to shave off this fold. So just stay right close to the fold. Shave that fold. I think we cut a little bit straighter when we're shaving a fold and we ended up with straighter parts. Then I have to shave the fold on this one. Now I'm going to stack these 3 pieces of paper together. Make sure they're folding the same direction. And I'm going to fold them again right on that fold. So I'm just folding that top one down. I'm going to shave that fold off. There's those. Then I'm going to fold this part. Now if you did something different, that's okay. I did something different last time. Look at the difference in mine. But it's all going to be okay. If you would like them to be a little bit more like a square, you could just cut them a little bit. So if I wanted this to be, this is really a rectangle right now, I could just kind of eyeball it and cut off a little bit. I keep them all together so they all stay the same size. So now they're squares, if that's what you want. Then you need to go through and number them, and I used a colored pencil, 1 through 9. You are going to need these for the math videos. So you need to do your notebook before you watch any of the math videos, because you will need them, not for the first video, but the second video on tomorrow. And even though you're using your squares to kind of figure out the answer to some of the equations, once you figure it out, you need to write the answer in your notebook. So this is one of them, that you're going to use those squares, and once you have an answer, then you can write what your answer is. And then you can do another one, and another one. And it will make sense once you're doing it. So here's this one where you have to use all 9 squares. And you have to figure out which number goes where. So that's why you have these squares with numbers on them, so you don't have to erase all the time. You can move these numbers around until you figure out what the right answer is, and then this is where you record that math thinking. And then maybe you're going to do another one, and it will all make sense when you watch the videos, but that is what those squares are for. So I hope you enjoy the videos. When you come to math group, you need to bring this math notebook so I can see it too, your math thinking journal. Now Tuesday's groups may not have anything in it if you haven't watched that yet, but Wednesday and Thursday, you should definitely, or Wednesday's group, you should definitely show this to me or show me whatever you are using for your math thinking. Have a good day.